During inspection, I visualize how I'll solve the cross. Then I look as far into a solve as possible. On most scrambles, I'll also plan one F12 pair, but on easy scrambles, I will probably have 2 F12 pairs ready to go. Because I've prepared, I can solve the cross and first F12 pair without focusing on them. Every F12 case is well practiced and done smoothly, so I can look ahead to which pieces I will solve next. A good predictor of my solve's final time is not how fast I turn, but how well I can transition between F12 pairs. Without any good transitions, probably 10 seconds, but with all good transitions, 6. Here's the first scramble done with white top and green front. Now keep in mind, in the actual solve, I did the cross on green, but I have translated this scramble so that the cross actually shows up on white. This will make it easier for all of you white cross solvers to follow along. Here I have a cube to help you visualize the cross solution, so I had green and orange like this. I inserted them next to each other, and red and blue set up. So align the cross and insert blue, insert red. In order to reduce regrips, I did the finger tricks like this. R, D, F, R. During inspection, I also looked ahead to more pieces. I knew that this was going to become a solved corner, and the edge that goes with it would be over here. So I saw this F12 pair and this F12 pair all during inspection. So the solution goes like this. Cross solution, then insert this pair. Then we have this one and this one, which I know a special case for this goes like this. As I was doing this F12 pair, I noticed this edge over here, which goes with this corner. So I paired these up, and meanwhile I noticed this edge over here. So I talked about this in my last video, which is about edge orientation. Basically, the side color here needs to match one of the side colors here in order for it to be a rotationless case, but it matches the front, so it's going to be with a rotation. So I solved this pair at the back, and then rotated to solve this pair. Then just OLL and PLL. So on the second scramble, we have this crazy orange cross with 2 pairs already here, and I didn't see it. So I ended up doing what was the red cross, which was pretty good as well. And here, of course, I have it translated so it shows up as the white cross. So notice how this corner is going to be solved once we insert this cross edge. And then the last edge is over here that goes with it. So what I did was insert that, insert red like this, and then insert this edge into the solved spot. So with this solved edge and this solved corner, then that's an X cross. During my inspection, I also found this corner and this edge, and I knew they were going to end up in this position, so I inserted them by pairing them up like this and then inserting into the back. Next, my look ahead was not very good. I have this good edge with this corner that I could have just set up like this, but I didn't do that. Instead, I noticed this corner and this edge, so I paired them up like this and then inserted, which causes a rotation and then another rotation, so I could have saved a rotation. Now here I did another bad thing. I paired these two up, and then instead of inserting with a sledgehammer to orient some edges and get a better last layer case, in fact, this would have been really good, then I actually just inserted like that. Now this resulted in a really bad dot case. So generally try to avoid dot cases, and then Z-Perm. For the third solve, we have the cross pieces orange here, blue is in a bad spot, and red and green are ready to go in with red to the left of green, as you can see from the centers. So what I did was move orange over, insert green and red, then do blue last, which was done like this. And then here I did a cube rotation in order to insert the last one, and you'll see why. So here again, we have the orange, red, green, and I noticed that as I set up blue, so I'll insert green and red, as I insert blue, that's going to push this edge over to here. And I have this corner and this edge. So I did a cube rotation from here, so to insert blue, so that I will have an easy finger trick to insert these two. Like that. Then I insert this into the back, because if I insert into the front, then I can't see what I'm going to do next. So I insert it into the back, and here I made a mistake in my look ahead. So as I insert into the back, I did not really pay attention to this part. So you can notice if you go back into the solve, I did this and then looked down because I couldn't see anything. So a better thing to do would be to just rotate and look at the bottom at the same time. Then as I do this insertion, I'll already know where all these pieces are. The first thing I probably would have done is these two, like that. But what I ended up doing, because I had bad look ahead, was this corner first. I took it out and did this, which is not very good. Then insert it into the back and I get this case. If I get this case and the back edge is misoriented, there's a way to orient all of them at once, which is like this. R2, B prime, R prime, B, R prime. So that pairs these up and orients all the top layer edges. What I did instead was the basic way to pair this up. I probably panicked and then got this, got an easy OLL, and then T-Perm. So here I have orange and green ready to go, blue is in here, and red can easily set up next to blue. So here I have this pair, and I changed up the cross solution a little bit in order to preserve this pair because I couldn't find another good one to start with. So what I did here was insert red, line these up, and then what you might do from here is insert orange, but then there would be no way to really save these. So from here, I just inserted the green and red pair. So I did L prime to set this one up to go in here. Insert there, and then I just got the orange one out here. So then I inserted the orange one at the end. All right, then I got this pair. So since this matches the front, is a bad edge and I would have to rotate, but I know a way to do this case without rotating, which is like this. F prime, reverse sexy move, F, and that pairs them up. Next I had these two, which I didn't actually notice. I first noticed these two and for some reason did a rotation first, which is weird, which meant I'd have to rotate back to do this one. So that was just a small mistake there. Then OLL, and PLL. So for this cross, what I noticed is that blue and green can go in opposite each other like that. Orange is already here, but it just gets bumped out and we can put it back in at the end. So green and red can go in like this, then insert orange like that. As I insert green and red, this edge is going to come up with the blue here on the front, which makes it a bad edge because it doesn't match one of the side centers. So I'm going to have to rotate after. This corner is not going to move, so I can pair them up together afterwards. So here's the cross solution. And then these two, join them together, and then I saw these two. So I did these two into the back. And meanwhile, I noticed these two pieces. So I did these two next, and here, this is an important part for look ahead. This edge is going to come out, but since it's already solved, I know, of course, this is a good edge. I see the corner back here, so really all I have to do is know where this edge is going to go, and I just know from experience that it's going to end up right over here when I do this case. And this corner, I know that it's just going to move one spot over. So I knew exactly what case I was going to get. Without any matching stickers or anything, I know we have a good edge here. The white sticker of the corner is going to be over here. So I went straight into this next one. If you go watch it back, there's actually no pause during that step. So I inserted these two and I got this case. All right, here we have OLL and then PLL. The cross in this scramble is pretty easy. We have blue and red already done. Green can go in with orange. And since I noticed that this corner was going to be solved afterwards, then I looked for the corresponding edge. The edge was over here, which I was not going to be able to take out, so I just did not do an X cross here. I noticed that this one was going to be right here, so I did that one first. And I also noticed that this edge was going to go over here. So whenever I have a really easy cross, I try my best to look ahead for two pairs. And I noticed that since this one's going to be over here, the corner is going to be back here. When I insert the blue and red, this corner will come out. So I just knew I'm going to have a bad edge over here and the corner will be somewhere in the top layer. So here's the cross solution. Do this one. Now, if I was really smart, I would not have done this pair first because it's actually a really cool trick that you can do right here. So this corner and this edge can be solved by doing D to open up a corner slot. This is called keyhole. Insert the edge, and then D prime so that this corner is unaffected. That also sets up this one. Not like I would have noticed that though. So what I did instead was this one. So I'll take it out like that to pair them up, insert it into here and insert it into the back. So I have open front slots. And here's the second opportunity to make this a really, really good solve and I missed it. Do you see it? This is a good edge, and this is a corner that, so when you set them up here, they can insert into here as a pair. So all I have to do is move the corner over. Again, this is keyhole, insert that, and then undo. And that solves F2L really quickly. So I missed that, and instead I did these two like this. And here, this is a good edge. I should not have rotated, and this is another missed opportunity to make this a decent solve. You can just do sledgehammer here, which orients all the last layer edges and sets this up. But instead, I rotated and then did reverse sledgehammer over here in order to get all the top layer edges. Then COLL and PLL. So looking at these solves, I realized that the last layer times does not have a lot of variance. It's mostly the same every single solve. So that means that most of the time fluctuations are actually due to F2L. I might have brought up some new F2L case solutions that you haven't seen before. If that's the case, head over to my resource on F2L algorithms, which I have in the description. It's best not to learn all these at once because there's so many, but if you have any cases you're wondering about, then you can go check it out over there. Special thanks to my supporters on Patreon for helping make this video possible and voting for this video in the poll. If you want to support cubing tutorials, then I'll be really grateful if you check out my Patreon. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys all next time.